we grew up blue collar family. My dad worked on the line at General Motors, and
Oh.
stuff wasn't a thing for us.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Really Famous. You know AJ Cook, right? She plays JJ on Criminal Minds and now Criminal Minds Evolution. Well, she is fabulous in real life, like a totally real person who you're going to want to get to know better and hang out with, which you're about to do because that's what we do right now. So let's do it.
Yeah, there's just something about living in the moment, and it just calms your mind
Uh-huh.
immensely.
Right. It's so good, especially because it sounds like you're describing like stress, anxiety, or whatever, because thinking about worrying about things that aren't even happening, haven't happened. It's like that
Yeah.
expression, I've worried about, I'm going to get it completely wrong, but it's something like I've worried about 10,000 or 10 million things in my life, and about 0.5% of them have actually happened.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it would even be 0.5%,
Right. I
Our
totally made that
minds are
number up, but
funny.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's so easy to worry, and some people worry more than others, of course. But it's so easy to worry about things that could happen, and like it's true though that almost none of the time do those things happen, and then when they do happen, you handle them.
Yeah, it wouldn't have changed it. The worrying about it, like,
Right.
yeah, it's funny how we do that to ourselves. How we think that we do these like mental gymnastics in our heads over and over, and that that hamster wheel of replaying a scenario over and over and over. And uh, a lot of the times, I think it happens because that's what all we're focusing on. Like we will it to happen because we spend so much time
Mm.
thinking about it and wondering about it. And I think the universe is like, all right, here you go.
Right, right. Well, that's what they say, right? You do whatever you spend your
Hmm.
time thinking about is what's going to happen. So you can spend your time thinking about things that would be awful and catastrophic, or you can
Hmm.
think about things that are good, that are going to happen. And I do think that to a certain degree definitely is true because you can see anything you have in your head. Like if you start looking for it, even if it's like subconsciously looking for it, you'll find it. So
Hmm.
if it's bad things, you'll find that. Or if it's good things, you'll find that too. So, I mean,
Yeah. And it's nice that there's that flip side too, of like,
yes,
good thoughts, good energy, all of that good
right.
stuff. You start to see the beauty in the world a little bit more.
So, what worries you most? What are some of the things that'll come up that you'll start thinking about and stressing about?
Uh, I mean, I worry about my kids, obviously. Um, my husband, his health. Those are the things that kind of keep me a little. And then like the dumb things that not dumb, but just work type stuff, dumb actor things of like, oh, I'm never gonna work again, and I'm never gonna be in another movie again, and just frivolous stuff like that. But the things that really keep me up at night are the you know family, family and loved ones. That's what keeps me up. But I try not to go there because I don't want those things to happen.
Yeah. But also,
Yeah.
those are the things that you really can't control
I
either,
know.
right?
Yeah, yeah. You just
So,
gotta
that's the hardest
when
part.
that happens to me, I used to get like really mad at myself that I would like let myself. I'm like, just stop thinking about it. But now I've sort of been taught to, you know, see it, stand in it, feel it,
Yes.
acknowledge it, and let it go. Like like any thought, right? It's gonna come into your mind, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Don't keep having conversations with it.
That is totally true. And that is,
Mm,
so I should also say that I was a therapist before I did this. So, I have a little of that
that
training.
makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. You have a great voice too. Your voice is
What?
very soothing and very
Really?
calming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, you do.
It's so funny when I
Which
remember. No, go ahead.
I was like, which is great that you do podcasts for a living.
Yeah,
That
I
works
mean,
well.
It's funny when I started, I remember somebody saying, like, you have a really squeaky voice. Like, you're really going to have to work on that. So, of course,
Really?
that sticks with
Mm,
you. You remember that. So, that's what, when you say something like that, I'm just like, well, I still see my voice as the way that I heard from that one person that one time 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
that's funny. I don't know. I find your voice very comforting.
Oh, that's great to hear. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, anyway, as I was saying about the therapy thing, that, right. So if you keep, like you're saying, like you have a conversation with that thought, then it's called rumination. So you don't get anywhere with that. You just keep going
Hmm.
with it. But by the same
That's the
token,
hamster wheel.
right. By the same token, like you said before, about if you just but if you try to push it out and not acknowledge it at all, then it's just going to keep trying to get back in. Right, so you're
Hmm.
going to keep
Yeah.
bothering you and knocking at that door. So that is exactly the way I think to handle it is like, yeah, okay, you acknowledge it. I'm going to worry. Like I'm going to worry about things like this. It's normal. And it just comes but I'll get through it. So it's okay. I'm just having these thoughts and I acknowledge them as those thoughts and now I move on. So
Hmm.
that's a good strategy.
Yeah. In a perfect world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I know. It's not always easy, but I do think that acknowledging it
Hmm.
is a good tool
Hmm.
rather than the opposite.
Yes.
How worried is your husband about things? Is he a worrier? I have a feeling he's the opposite.
He is. Yeah. He's my husband's like the coolest person ever. I'm like, I don't know how I scored you. But he's taught me so much. Because I was very, you know,
Right.
grew up a
Rigid.
certain way and um I don't want to say closed-minded about some things, but I don't know. With how you are raised, you get a certain way of thinking ingrained in your mind. Like it just that's called how you're raised. So he actually was raised similarly, but he had a much healthier approach to all of it. So yeah, he's been able to walk me through a lot of those times where I am worrying unnecessarily about things, and he's helped me kind of get through some of those tough times. He's that guy that everyone goes to for advice. Yeah, he always has pearls of wisdom to offer everybody. I will say this though, he's really great at giving advice. He's not great at taking it.
Ah,
And
uh-huh.
he would admit that. He would admit that as well. But yeah, he's a good one. He's very outdoorsy as well, and it's been great to uh, experience all of that with him and our kids. It just brings me so much joy seeing my husband and my boys in the wilderness. It's just so cool because there's so much joy coming from them. And it's what they're doing is so simple, and we don't need things for it. It's just being out there in the fresh air and
Hmm.
being with each other is the best. It's priceless.
Right. So I feel like you are totally not a things oriented person, like a materialistic person. Like, yes, I'm sure you have a great house on the beach, but that's like because of the lifestyle, right? It's not
Mhm.
about acquiring things or whatever. Like that's
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm really not, and probably like embarrassingly at times too. Like we grew up blue collar family. My dad worked on the line at General Motors, and like stuff wasn't a thing for us. So it is kind of strange when you come from like humble beginnings, and you do find some success in life, and just the whole idea that I get paid to do what I love for a living is crazy, and I'm so grateful for it. But it's strange because I do live in California now, and where that sort of thing is, people like to flaunt their stuff around, and It's like keeping up
Yeah.
with the Joneses type of a deal, like your cars and your clothing and you know, so yeah, I don't even know what's cool. Like I'm like, um, so I don't. That's been a struggle for me with raising my boys out here. Is that I just really want to make sure that they have a good foundation of, like what's really important and what's really going to bring joy and happiness to your life. It's not about things. It's about the people you surround yourself with and knowing yourself and being comfortable with who you are. Um, so those are the things that we tend to focus on a little bit more. My husband is definitely more the things guy. Like he's like I said, he's just cool. He's like the cooler. He's way cooler than me, and he's just on top of uh, that sort of stuff way more than I am. He has his own clothing company too, so he
Oh, he
started his own.
does? I didn't
Yeah,
know that. So he's
he
not in
started his
entertainment or anything. He's in
no.
clothing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is why we've been married for 21 plus years. He's not in the industry. Um, yeah, so the reason why he created Walter Sky, that's the name of his clothing company, was because he's a big outdoors guy and he wanted clothes that doesn't look like he's wearing his dad's clothes hiking, like he
Yeah.
wanted technical clothing that can go from the office to like will take you anywhere. You don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to look like your nerdy dad doing it. So yeah, he created this sort of like staples line, and it's doing really well. So I'm super happy for him. But my point being, he's got a great eye for fashion and style
Style.
and just
Uh-huh.
what looks good. So yeah, I lean on him a lot for that.
That's handy. I mean, I would
Yeah.
think I could see where it is interesting because you are in that place where it is maxed out attention to like materialistic whatever or like style,
Mhm.
fashion, all those things, status, whatever. And that's clearly not who you are at all. So I'm sure it is a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, and you know what makes it easier is living here, living in Hermosa. It's like, people in flip-flops all day. Like you don't wear
Yeah.
makeup. Like it's just it is what it is. So that's really nice. Again, it's just that like grassroots, just be you. And are you comfortable is the question around here. Like
Right.
you don't have to wear heels. You don't have to, it's about just being comfortable and being able to go from the beach to so my husband's office, I joke all the time, like his commute is like a couple blocks away. So I'm like, oh, how's that commute today, babe? Whew, did you handle that okay? Did you ride your skateboard today? What what'd you do? The Vespa? Yeah, so being here definitely makes it easier. So that's nice.
Right, right. And then I guess you can have those occasions if you're into it. Like, where at least you go on set, let's say, and then you get the hair and the
Hmm.
makeup. At least it's a little novel, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It's super fun to do every once in a while. Like I do love fashion and putting things together and the look of something. And especially if it feels like you, then
Mm.
there's no better feeling. But yeah, I I have spent money on like nicer things, and I find that I never wear them. Like, where am I
Oh,
going to
yeah.
wear that in Hermosa? I look like a crazy person.
Right.
So I do have a nice closet full of some nice things, but they just sit there,
That's so
unfortunately.
funny. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's nice to have them in case something
Yeah,
does come up, and then you don't have
yeah,
to like go run out and be like, oh wait, I have nothing to wear to this, unusual event or
hmm
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I was just thinking about. So wait, do you get recognized often? Like, do people know you from TV, or do you kind of get to blend a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting. I forget that because I live in such a chill place, I forget that I'm like people know who I am. So it really I'm surprised every time it happens, and it does happen,
Yeah.
and quite a bit, like quite a lot now. But I think people think that I'm like pretending to like act, but honestly, I'm always like, Oh, I remember we were, especially once I go outside of the bubble, then that's when it happens. People are really chill around here. Like they're very nice and respectful. And thank God, because my family's here and we
Yeah.
get to just live like a very, live on the DL out here. But we went to the Lakers game not too long ago, and I was sitting there, and there was a guy just down the aisle from me, and he was like, he was waving at me, and I was like, "Hey!" And he holds up he was like, and I looked behind me to see what famous person was behind me because I thought he wanted me to take a picture of him but that's just me. I still can't believe that I get to do this for a living. Like, again, I'm come from this like blue collar town and very humble roots. But yeah, stuff like that does happen a
Yeah.
lot, and it surprises me every time. One day I'm going to be cool about it. I'm going to be like, "Hey, yeah, what's your name?" Like that day's not happened yet. So
That's
if you
interesting.
see me, prepare for me to be like, "Oh, oh,
Right.
oh, hi. Oh, you watch the show? You know me? You watch the show?"
Right. But
Yeah.
right, that's so interesting. So I feel like you're the first person who said that they did that they're surprised. Even and I'm sure that I've talked to, I mean, a variety of people, but that's so like I feel like it is so like down to earth and cool. Again, I know you said you don't know anything cool, but I feel like that's really cool that you just like
Oh,
completely don't even it doesn't even register almost.
yeah. I don't know. It's strange. And you know what? I think maybe there might be a little like survival for me in that reaction to it of I don't know how to be that person, like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Oh yes, of course you know me. I don't know how to be that person. And I I grew up in a family that was very like self-deprecating, and we love humor, we like to laugh, and yet we're very humble, and so it's all I know. And I'm kind of happy that I still am that way. Like I don't want to like lose myself along the way. But it's strange. It's strange. I mean, even the fact that I'm talking to you right now, when I found out that I was going to be doing this, because I don't usually do podcasts because I am a very private, kind of a recluse like person. But I really like your style, and your voice, like I said, is very soothing and comforting. So I don't know. I've instantly felt comfortable to do this with you.
Okay, wait, there's more. AJ and I really get into the topic of religion, and specifically AJ's experience as a Mormon, and a lot of other really interesting personal things about life in general and her family, her work life, and more.